I love garage.
Yo! C4. C4. OoRITE. OoRITE. You don't know them about OoRITE. What am I saying to them? Yeah, yo.
Club FM Philly.
Yo! In C4. OoRITE. OoRITE. You don't know them about OoRITE. What am I saying to them? C4. Yeah, OoRITE. OoRITE, teasing my back, OoRITE, I'm back, OoRITE, is your back, OoRITE, right? C4, yeah, OoRITE. OoRITE, teasing my back, OoRITE, I'm back, OoRITE, is your back, OoRITE. OoRITE, you don't know that my back's OoRITE. I don't joke on my back's OoRITE. Even though I'm solo, I have man's OoRITE. Then my back OoRITE, so don't chat OoRITE. Shout OoRITE, teasing my stats OoRITE, right? C4, that's my slogan in the chat OoRITE. The game's a Liverpool race, I don't get left, so I stay OoRITE. When I just rev up the pace OoRITE. To better living in the buzz, I'm gonna give and take a hand in the mess and I live because I'm OoRITE. I'm the grind C junkie OoRITE, right? So every time I'm in town, the fans be calling me like C4. Yeah, OoRITE. OoRITE, teasing my back, OoRITE. OoRITE, bro. OoRITE. OoRITE, I'm back. I'll be minimizing haters, it's the violator.
Hey, what's up? This is DJ Quantize, and you're now listening to the sounds of London Philly Link Up, only on Club FM Philadelphia. Club FM Philadelphia. Club FM
Philadelphia. The city sings music.
I love garage. Hey, look out.
Most of us saw a bit of blue sky on Monday, and most of us will see plenty more of it on Tuesday as well. However, it is going to be a little bit fresh first thing, and there will be thicker cloud and some patchy rain trickling into Northern Ireland and Western Scotland later on. Through Monday, there's been a fair few showers over Northern England, Southern Scotland, still one or two through the evening, but they are fading here. It's Northern Scotland where the showers will keep going overnight, and one or two heavy ones are also possible. For most though, it's a dry night with clear skies, light winds. That adds up to a bit of a chill in the air first thing on Tuesday morning. Temperatures down to single figures, even in towns and cities. Let's look at the rural temperatures and, well down into single digits. So yes, a rather fresh start to Tuesday, but a beautiful one if you like, sunny skies. Any early morning mists will clear away, and then it's largely sunny through the morning. Again, across northern Scotland, still a few showers here through the morning, and one or two could develop through the day over Northern Ireland, maybe in the morning, and then southern Scotland, northern England, but not as many as Monday. Most places will be dry until we start to see thickening cloud and drizzly rain for northern parts of Northern Ireland and Western Scotland by the end of the afternoon. For the vast majority, though, it is a fine, bright day with plenty of sunny spells. The wind's light as well. We start pretty chilly, yes, but by the afternoon, temperatures will be back up above average probably across the south, and certainly feeling a bit warmer than Monday for most. 23, 24 is possible. A little cooler, and certainly feeling rather cool with the damp weather spreading into the west coast of Scotland. It doesn't stop there. It continues to trickle into Scotland, Northern Ireland during Tuesday evening. Some uncertainty about the extent of this rain and when it will arrive, but certainly across northern Britain it looks like a damp start to Wednesday. Rain and drizzle on and off for central and southern Scotland, Northern Ireland, perhaps the far north of England, maybe even North Wales, but across much of the south, Wednesday looks like another fine bright day with hazy sunshine, and across northern Scotland as well, not much in the way of rain here. Temperature-wise, well, it's starting to climb a bit further across the south, could reach 25 with the hazy sunshine. Obviously, it'll feel a bit cooler with a thicker cloud over northern England, southern Scotland, with rain coming and going here, thanks to this real mess of weather fronts tied into an area of low pressure, which is bringing a bit of a north-south split for most of this week. High pressure trying to hold on in the south and should stick around until at least Thursday, by which time this weather front is becoming a bit more threatening. But generally this week it looks largely dry across the south with some warm sunshine at times. That weather system will bring a lot of cloud and rain at times across the north. Day-on-day detail will always be varying, of course, so make sure you stay up to date with the very latest by following us on social media.
Yo, it's C4 right about now. Club FM Philadelphia, Birmingham to Philadelphia, UK to the States. Lock in or get block and delete. Alright.
Philly.
In Western with a
Club FM. Club FM Philadelphia, the city station for dance music.
I love house.
Welcome back to the football show. Still to come, we're going to look at the Championship, who will be promoted alongside Leeds. We're going to discuss Monday night's games in the Premier League. Plus, Dermot Gallagher will be here with Ref Watch. That's on the way at 11:30. But right now, let's turn our attention to Watford, shall we? And what on earth is going on there? What we're hearing, what we understand, is that there was a discussion between Nigel Pearson and the owner Gino Pozzo on Friday after that defeat to West Ham, and that was over selections, substitutions, and the team's performance, particularly in the first half. What we understand is that Nigel Pearson still had the support of a group of players in the dressing room, although some players were less supported, despite the work that Nigel Pearson had done at the club. And there was discussions going on whether he and his number two, Craig Shakespeare, would stay on after their contract expires at the end of the season, and the club took the decision that that wasn't going to happen. Hayden Mullins and Graham Stack are going to take charge of their remaining games. So let's come to Stephen and Sue. Stephen, let's start with you. How surprised were you when you heard that news?
I was very surprised because of the job that he's done since he's come into the club. I think, don't get me wrong, I think since restart they've not been outstanding. They haven't hit the heights that we thought they would hit. I've watched them a couple of times. I've actually been to the stadiums to watch them, and they've just lacked that killer instinct in front of goal. And that's where, I mean, it can be so frustrating because you can be so close to winning games, and the game plan that he's implemented in games seemed to be the right one to me. But then when you start losing games, obviously owners get disheartened, they get frustrated. It starts to creep into the players as well, some of the players, that perhaps it's not the right way to play, and when they're not getting opportunities to play, then they get frustrated. It starts leaking around the changing room. They become a bad influence in the changing room, and then it causes disharmony within the changing room. That then leaks to the owners. The owners start discussing things with players. So as much as it is a surprise that he's gone, I think there's obviously things gone on behind the scenes where players have spoken. The board have obviously spoken to players and felt that it was the right decision to move Nigel Pearson on, and that they fancied the chances without him. But they've got 2 massive games, and it just seems very strange to change the manager with 2 games to go with the magnitude of those games.
Yeah, Sue, I saw a table that was published yesterday on social media. It said if the season had started when Nigel Pearson had taken over, Watford would be 12th in the table. So it shows the work he's done there. The 3rd manager they've sacked this season. How can a club hope to move forward and expect success when they keep changing managers?
That's the problem, isn't it? And this is what Watford do. There's no consistency there. I think as a manager going in, if you want a long-term project, you know that at Watford that isn't going to be the case. And like you mentioned, Nigel Pearson came in when they were 7 points adrift, managed to get them out of the relegation zone. It looked like they did have a togetherness. We refer back to the Liverpool result, where that was a fantastic performance from them, and it was exactly how you thought that Watford were going to continue the season. They were going to be very well organised defensively, and they were going to be very good on the counter with the pace of Sarr and the quality of Deulofeu on the other side. Unfortunately, Deulofeu got that horrible ACL injury and he was out, but you thought that was where they were really going to start and kick on, because they've got some good players and they shouldn't be where they are. And I suppose we're just looking at it from the outside. We don't know what's gone in the dressing room. We don't know what's gone on with the owners. But just looking at it from the outset, it just seems like really strange timing with two games to go, 2 massively important games to go. To get rid of your manager at that point just seems strange to me.
Yeah, and just not so long ago, about 20 minutes ago, in fact, we were listening to Ralph Hasenhüttl talking about that 9-0 defeat to Leicester and how he has turned this around at Southampton. We've spoken a lot about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United and them sticking with him and reaping the rewards of them. But is there a right and a wrong way to do things in football, Stephen?
Well, this is what Watford feel is successful. By staying in the Premier League year upon year, they see that as a success, and this is the way that they think they can be successful doing it. From a business point of view, for them to stay within the Premier League is success. And by changing the manager, they feel that there's a fresh voice in there time after time, and it gives them perhaps a little bit more power to do what they want to do as well, by not spending ridiculous amounts of money on players consistently. So I think from their point of view, they won't see this as an issue, and I think you only have to look at the track record of the owners to know that this isn't a surprise when Watford sack a manager.
No, 2 games to go. Manchester City and Arsenal. Sue, Hayden Mullins and Graham Stack, we said, will be in temporary charge. Is your feeling, though, that Watford already perhaps have someone in mind for next season?
I suppose when you look at past form, then yes, you would think that they've got somebody already lined up for the position. And I think the West Ham game was probably the final straw, where it was such an important game. You're fighting against somebody that was also fighting relegation, and we talk about the 6-pointers, but it probably was a 6-pointer. And the performance in that first half wasn't good enough. Yes, West Ham were brilliant and really took the game to Watford, but then what you did see was a reaction in the second half. So clearly he still does have the players, in the fact that they came out much better. They got that early goal, but they just left themselves a huge mountain to climb. time and they couldn't get themselves back into the game. So you just wonder, was that the final straw on their behalf? But yeah, going back to the owners, I'm sure they've already got a manager lined up and ready to come in, because that's exactly what they do.
Yeah. If you're a manager, though, Stephen, would you? I guess managers will take any job nowadays, won't they? But I mean, you don't unpack your suitcase if you're heading to Watford, do you? Does this make it less desirable the way they do their business if you are a manager?
Possibly, but then it's an opportunity to manage in the Premier League where someone else might not want that opportunity, and it opens a door for somebody else who might not have been given that opportunity at another Premier League club. Then they get to showcase their ability, their skills, to what they can do. If they do a good job, they get rewarded. You look at Marco Silva, left Watford, went to Everton, so he was rewarded for doing a job at Watford in a short space of time. But I just think when you look at Watford, I mean, I'd take it. If I was a manager, I would take it, because it is the chance to manage in the Premier League. And if you do a good job, it's almost a stepping stone to get all the work as well. But I can see why other managers will probably stay away from it and think, well, it's not the right thing to do.
Will, though, Stephen, will the next manager be managing in the Premier League?
Possibly. I'm still hoping that Villa can get a result on the last game of the season and get something out of it. But listen, the last day of the season is just going to be unbelievable, isn't it, when you think of the games and what's at stake? But Watford definitely have a chance of achieving that, because they have match winners within their squad and they've got goal scorers within their squad. But it's a big ask for them.
Yeah. As for the players, how difficult is it, Sue? Yet another person in charge. Again, different instructions, different voices, adapting to that and trying to win games to keep you in the Premier League at the same time.
It's the uncertainty, isn't it, of bringing in a new manager, like you say, that's a different voice, that's got different instructions. You've just got used to playing a particular way under Nigel Pearson. Suddenly he's gone, and you would think that the interim managers probably would continue with a similar sort of style, but it's a new voice, and sometimes it works, because you do get that initial bounce. We've seen that when a new manager comes in, they give fresh instructions that might certainly motivate some of the players. But I just think, as a manager, if I was going into that job, I would want a longer term, because it's a project. It's something that you want to build. You want to instill your style, and that takes time. You want to bring in the players you want to bring in, and again, that takes time. So to know that you've only got a few games and it's all about results, it's not about the future, that would be really, really difficult to take on board. And as a player, it's the uncertainty. But I suppose if it works and they get results in those two last games, then the owners will say, well, it's worked again and we've stayed in the Premier League.
Yeah, as for Nigel Pearson, Stephen, has his stock risen or fallen as a result of his spell at Watford?
I think it's risen. I think when you look at the job that he's done, like you said before, Rob, the table is finishing 12th. If the season started when he took over, you're in 12th position, which is very healthy. I think he's brought a solidity to the team. I think they're harder to play against, or they were before lockdown. Lockdown was the worst thing that happened to Watford. I think they'd have comfortably stayed up if we hadn't gone into lockdown. The way they've come back has probably not been fantastic, but I do think it's shown what capabilities he has as a manager, and him and Craig Shakespeare, who obviously come together and they work very well together. So, and the way in which he's left with 2 games to go and it's still being in their hands to stay within the league. I think if you'd have said that when he came into the club, I think you'd have said, yeah, definitely we'll take that. With 2 games to go, we've got an opportunity to stay within the league, because they looked in a really bad position when he took over.
What up? It's your boy DJ Ahmed checking in. Moneybag Music.
Hey, what's up? This is DJ Quantize, and you're now listening to the sounds of London Philly Link Up, only on Club FM Philadelphia. Club FM Philadelphia. Club FM Philadelphia.
FM Philly.
Is they have the players going to go into facility, 60 or so players going to go into facility, also plus their coaches. Then they're going to practice and play against each other. Then they're going to go home to their kids who may be in school, go home to their wives who may be going to their jobs. And they're going to have all this contact and then come back to the facility. It may not be all teams, but there will be teams that are ravaged by this disease and this will be detrimentally impacted by this. If the owners of the NFL, the same NFL that hid head injuries from their players for many years, that same NFL wants to enter in another situation where they could be responsible for causing repulsive health impact on their players and their families going forward, that's something that I don't think that they want to re-enter and be facing those lawsuits for years to come. It's maybe something that they're okay with, but I think they should be aware that the reason why the union exists is obviously to protect the players, but the union exists also to protect the league. The league, if they come to an agreement that the union agrees with, then they are protected because they will be able to say that the players agreed to this.
For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.
They're in a live look at the Ben Franklin Parkway. There's nobody out there. They're all inside. It's boiling hot out there, Matt.
Yeah, Jim, if anybody was out there, I kind of want to go and go to the sky and go, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Right?
Do not go outside.
No, stay inside. Maybe you hang out in the shade. If you do want to sit maybe in your backyard, something like that, make sure you got the nice shade of a nice tree. Or, Jim, cough, do you have a pool? I think Jim Donovan has a pool. And I haven't...
Cleaning.
I have not made a pool joke yet today, so I had to at least give one of those that I haven't been invited yet. I don't know if Janelle has. Maybe she and I can just come over and we'll just hang out. Anyway, talking about how hot and how humid it is today. Hazy sunshine for us in Plymouth meeting this afternoon, overlooking our neighborhood network right now, and temperatures already on the rise. Again, we talked about how you should just stay in the air conditioning as best you can because take a look at these temperatures. Already jumping up into the 90s. Philly and Trenton both at 90 degrees here as we move just past about 12 or almost to 12:30, 90 in Reading, 85 in Allentown, 80 degrees in Mount Pocono. And as you get closer to the shore, we're not getting any help today from a sea breeze that we had the last couple of afternoons. So temperatures now jumping up to all the way to 94 degrees in AC and 91 already in Wildwood. When you add in the humidity, we get that really dangerous heat index that feels like temperature where it feels right now like it's 93 in Philly, 94 in Wilmington. And again, as you get closer to the shore where our temperatures are a little bit warmer, it already feels like the triple digits in Atlantic City. We're going to continue to see the high heat and high humidity through the rest of the afternoon. So by the time we get to 2 o'clock in Philly, we're talking about triple digit heat index values that will continue all the way through probably 4 and 5 o'clock. And right now we're talking about 4 o'clock, maybe 101 for that feels like temperature, but it wouldn't be surprising to see that creep up to maybe as high as 105, 106, or potentially in some areas that you see here shaded in the pink as high as 110. That is where we have our excessive heat warning. Up into the Lehigh Valley, Berks County, and along the immediate shore, we have our heat advisory. Both of these alerts go through 8 o'clock tonight as the way start to lose that daytime heating and the humidity will start to dip as well. And we're going to finally get a little bit of relief tomorrow. It's going to come in the way of a weak boundary that's slowly working its way west to east across the Commonwealth right now. You can kind of see the changing cloud cover just north of Williamsport. That's our cold front. It's not overly strong, so it does kind of wash out as it works its way south, but it could still actually allow for a couple of light showers to develop across South Jersey later this evening. Overall, the afternoon is going to be sunny and hot. You see as we get into the evening and even overnight, right around 10 o'clock or so, that boundaries to our south of Philadelphia. So some showers, maybe an isolated thunder shower even at the shore in the late evening and early overnight hours. Tuesday, for the most part, we start out dry. It's going to be hot again. And while future weather tries to paint in a couple showers, I think tomorrow is going to, again, stay dry across the board, but the humidity will be a little bit better. So our comfort index today is excessive. Tomorrow we drop it down to the almost pleasant, a little bit muggy range. But then as we get ready for our next chance for rain on Wednesday, the humidity does creep back up. So 98 degrees later this afternoon. We're talking about a not as humid 95 on Tuesday. Our best chance for those thunderstorms does come on Wednesday with a high of 92 degrees. And then even later in the week, We're going to have an isolated thunderstorm chance maybe on Thursday up to 93, and then we'll eventually get some more seasonable conditions, Janelle, as we get to next weekend. But even with those 80s in the forecast Saturday and Sunday, the humidity does stay high.
Matt, I think I'm going to have to tag along with you when you head over to Jim's pool later today.
Let's do it. He doesn't even need to. I don't think he was paying attention to the weather. We can do it. It'll be fine.
We'll show up, invite or not, right? All right. Matthew, thank you so much.
I love garage.
So, will a stroller fit easily in the back? As you can see, the XT5 has plenty of room for the stroller.
See, it's not just me. You have to really press it. Yeah, then it goes to. There you go.
Nailed it.
Introducing Cadillac Live, a one-on-one personalized shopping experience from anywhere.
Dinner with the Drakes. Tonight? Alexa, ask Buick to start my Encore GX.
Nice Buick.
Thanks. 4 fillets.
You know this dinner's for their
Kids.
I'm a dinosaur!
I hope dinosaurs like salmon.
They hate it.
The first ever Buick Encore GX.
What comes as standard?
Standard? Free servicing.
Servicing not free?
That's extra, that's extra, that's additional.
So everything's included?
Yeah. The Griffin editions come with a whole host of extras as standard.
Now including as standard 3 years servicing and 2 years additional roadside assistance. Vauxhall Griffin Editions, now with Vauxhall Care.